Damn, keep dropping my shit. What's going on, man? What's going on, y'all? YouTube world. Finally got my main channel back. What up with all my subscribers, man? Rebranding this channel. Yeah, I'm about to be rebranding this channel, man. Getting used to, about to get back used to getting on this camera. But I'm definitely about to rebrand this channel. This channel gonna be just some reactions and, you know, talking about life and talking about a whole lot of different situations that's going on in the world. This video we got right now is some conspiracy stuff. Got me my Bev, man. Got my little cheap headphones on. We finna get it. Not finna waste no time. I got some crap to do. But yeah, let's get this, man. Let's get this. Let's see what this video talking about. This is I forget who this by. Let's see. Yeah, Mystery Beyond video. And yeah, let's get it.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. I'm really excited to kind of unpack these stories with you and with our expert here.
Yeah, these are really fascinating. You know, we often dismiss conspiracy theories as
it turned out to be true. I'm really excited to kind of unpack these stories with you and with our expert here.
Yeah, these are really fascinating. You know, we often dismiss conspiracy theories as just like outlandish, right? But it really makes you think when some of those things that seemed impossible turn out to be true.
Exactly. Like, how much are we misjudging?
You know, it's a good point. It challenges us to consider what we think we know.
Right. And it definitely blurs the line between like conspiracy and reality sometimes. Like this case from the late 1970s in Japan. There were these whispers about North Korean spies abducting Japanese citizens. At the time, it sounded like, you know, straight out of a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Like people just brushed it off as paranoia.
Oh, absolutely. Especially during the Cold War. It's easy to dismiss those kinds of things.
Totally.
But then you have the case of Yo Taguchi, a single mother. She vanished from Tokyo in 1978.
Yeah, and at first...
And yeah, I'm smoking a black, man. If y'all see it, you know, hell yeah, I'm smoking a black, man. It relaxes me. You got anything else to say? I'm talking to you, man. 'Cause I know it's one of y'all saying something like, what? Smoking a black? A casino. That's good, man.
First, everyone just figured, like, oh, she moved on with her life. Maybe she just quit her job, started fresh somewhere, you know, who knows. But the truth was way darker.
Way darker.
I mean, the bombing of Korean Airlines Flight 858 in 1987, like, that was a huge turning point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
One of the North Korean agents, she was caught. And she admitted that Yo Taguchi had been, get this, her Japanese language instructor for like 3 years.
Wow.
So she wasn't missing, she'd been abducted and forced to train spies. It's a crazy thought.
Chilling, absolutely chilling.
Like,
So
someone...
let me get this. I'm a little slow, man, when it comes to reacting to these videos. Y'all gonna have to work with me. So she got kidnapped. That's all I got so far. Let's see, man. Come on, let's focus in. She got kidnapped.
Someone just disappears from their everyday life and ends up in this like terrifying situation.
And the investigation found that she wasn't the only one. 17 Japanese abductees have been officially confirmed, but they think the real number could be much higher.
Wow.
Potentially hundreds.
That's insane. And these weren't even like targeted attacks or anything. It was just ordinary people, students, families.
Yeah, I read about that like a young girl returning home from school just snatched.
It's terrifying.
Without a trace.
And it took years for North Korea to even admit to any of it. And even then, their story is like full of holes.
Oh, shit.
during the Cold War. It's easy to dismiss those kinds of things.
Totally.
But then you have the case of Yo Taguchi, a single
I'm fucking up, yo.
Thriller.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
people just...
Yeah, I read about that like a young girl returning home from school just snatched.
Yeah, see? Like, bro. Like, damn. I keep hitting shit. Yeah, but, bro, like, North Korea, man. I done heard a few things about North Korea, and they weird. Like, they're really weird for, I don't know, man.
It's terrifying.
Without a trace.
And it took years for North Korea to even admit to any of it. And even then, their story is like full of holes, you know?
Yeah, so much secrecy.
They claim only 5 victims are still alive. And even the cremated remains they returned, well, DNA testing showed most of it was fake.
Oh, wow.
This whole story, it's heartbreaking. It really raises a lot of questions about the victims, like what happened to them and why would they do this, you know?
What were their motives?
Exactly. But it also shows us that sometimes the impossible, it can be true.
It really does.
It challenges our assumptions, even the comforting ones.
It's a good reminder to question things.
Okay, so let's switch gears for a second and talk about another confirmed conspiracy theory. The CIA's heart attack gun. I know it sounds like something out of a movie, but
What?
this was real.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
In the 1970s, there was this investigative journalist, Seymour Hersh. He published this expose on the CIA, and it led to a Senate investigation.
Wow.
And during the investigation, this shocking piece of information came out. The CIA had this weapon that could cause a heart attack.
And leave no trace.
Exactly. They developed this pistol. It could fire a poison dart over 300 feet. The dart was designed to dissolve on impact, so no trace. And the poison would mimic a heart attack.
That's
Bro,
incredible.
that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Like, just imagine people walking around with a heart attack strap, dissolving bullets. Even though I feel like they about to be coming out with that eventually, anyways. Like, if they haven't came out with it already, I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, but bro.
Incredible. Do you know anything about the poison itself?
Yeah. The then CIA director, William Colby, he actually testified before the Senate.
No way.
Yeah. It was part of the CIA's MK Naomi program, which focused on biological warfare.
I've heard of that, yeah.
He said the gun was silent. It used shellfish toxin to cause the heart attack symptoms.
Shellfish toxin. Interesting.
And it left like just a tiny red mark.
So they could basically assassinate someone and make it look natural.
It's scary to think about. Colby claimed it was only used for experiments. But it's hard to believe that, right?
I mean, given the nature of the weapon, it's hard to accept that.
I mean, who knows how it was really used? And we still don't know what happened to the gun after the investigation.
That's a little unsettling, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It makes you wonder what else is out there, you know? What other technologies they're keeping secret. Okay, let's move on to something a little less intense, I think. Let's talk about rogue waves. For centuries, sailors have told these stories about these giant waves, over 100 feet tall, swallowing ships whole.
I've always found those stories fascinating.
Yeah, but for a long time, scientists
I believe that could be true, man. It'd be some big waves, like some real. Like, the water is crazy. Like, we don't really know too much about the ocean. Like, what they say, we only know like 9% of the whole entire ocean. Like, the water, it get deep, man. It could definitely get deep.
just dismiss them, you know?
Right, just tall tales.
Exactly. They said waves couldn't physically get bigger than 30 feet.
But wasn't there an incident that proved them wrong?
Yes. In 1995, at the Dropner platform, it's an oil platform in the North Sea, their sensors recorded a wave that was 84 feet tall.
Wow.
This was a rogue wave, way bigger than any of the surrounding waves. It was the first real proof that these myths were actually real.
That must have shaken things up in the scientific community.
Oh, definitely.
So what exactly causes a rogue wave?
Well, scientists are still figuring that out, but they think it's a combination of things. Like sometimes wave crests line up just right and amplify each other. It's called constructive interference. And that can create these monster waves out of nowhere.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Imagine being out at sea and suddenly this wall of water, twice the size of anything you've ever seen, just appears.
That'd be terrifying.
Totally.
Sick.
It explains a lot of unexplained shipwrecks, I think.
Right.
Like the SS Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah, the one that sank in Lake Superior?
Yeah. Some people believe it was sunk by like 3 rogue.
Like, man, I don't understand why people even be want to just go all up in the water and be a water discoverer, or, you know, like, man, like, y'all remember when, when them people had got, like, it was like 5 people that got up in this little submarine to go, I guess, look at the Titanic or whatever, like, and they all died, bro. Like, it's that water pressure, man, trying to go down there. That story was wild anyways. I know y'all know about that, but
Rogue waves in a row. They call it the Three Sisters.
That's eerie.
Okay, I think we need to lighten the mood a bit. How about we talk about something a little less ocean related? Let's dive into the Prohibition era in the United States. That was when alcohol was illegal nationwide.
Prohibition, yeah. I know it led to a huge black market for alcohol.
Exactly. Bootleggers and criminals took over. They were using all sorts of dangerous methods to make and sell their booze.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then, get this, rumors started spreading that the government was poisoning alcohol on purpose to try and stop people from drinking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sounded like a crazy conspiracy theory at the time.
I bet.
But then, on New Year's Day in 1927, this really tragic thing happened. At Bellevue Hospital in New York City, 41 people died from alcohol poisoning.
Oh my gosh.
An autopsy showed that they had been drinking industrial methanol. It's also called wood alcohol. And it's really toxic, even in small amounts.
So the rumors
meth
were
alcohol. That's what I got from that. Meth alcohol, man.
true.
Well, sort of. The government had actually required companies to add toxic chemicals to industrial alcohol, like methanol, to discourage drinking.
They actually thought that would work.
I guess so.
Not rare.
But they completely underestimated how much people wanted alcohol and how far bootleggers would go.
A classic case of unintended consequences.
Totally. Thousands of Americans ended up getting poisoned.
It's awful.
It was a real tragedy. Okay, let's switch gears again. I want to talk about a time when gorillas were considered like mythical creatures.
Right.
You're like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
It's hard to believe now, knowing how real they are.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But for centuries, people just didn't believe they existed.
I wonder why.
Well, I think it's because, people tend to dismiss things they don't understand, especially if it's something new or different.
True.
One of the earliest accounts we have is from this English explorer, Andrew Lxthal. In the 15th century, he described seeing these giant monster apes in Africa. But, people didn't believe him. They just thought he was exaggerating.
Of course.
And so, for a long time, gorillas were just seen as these, mythical beasts.
But eventually someone must have found proof, right?
Yeah, in 1847, this American naturalist, Thomas Savage, he found a gorilla skull in Africa.
Wow, so that's what changed everything.
Yeah, it finally convinced people that gorillas were real, and it led to more expeditions to study them.
That's amazing how one discovery can shift our understanding so much.
Totally. And then, in the mid-19th century, this French explorer, Paul du Chaillu, he led expeditions that confirmed gorillas were real, and he even brought back specimens.
So that's when they were officially recognized by the scientific community.
Exactly. It's amazing how science can take something from myth to reality.
Yeah, it really is.
And, it wasn't just scientists who changed their minds, the public did too. When this baby gorilla named Pongo arrived in Liverpool in 1876, it changed everything.
Waymere.
Well, Pongo wasn't some scary monster. He was playful, curious. It challenged the whole idea of gorillas being violent.
That's so interesting.
Pongo helped people see gorillas as, intelligent social animals.
That's a heartwarming story.
And as we learn more about them, their intelligence, their social structures, it's crazy to think they were ever just myths.
It really makes you wonder what other truths are out there just waiting to be discovered.
You're right, there's still so much we don't know.
That's what makes exploration and discovery so exciting.
Absolutely. Speaking of things that were once dismissed as crazy, let's talk about MK Ultra. This one's like a real-life thriller.
Oh yeah, M Culture. I've heard about that.
It was a top-secret CIA project back in the 1950s all the way to the early 70s. Basically, they were trying to like control people's minds.
Yeah.
And develop techniques for chemical interrogation.
That's pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, it's really messed up. They were experimenting with LSD, hypnosis, even electroshock therapy.
I tell you, man, the world, man, all mind control and shit, man. Like, come on, man. It's too much. It's too much wild shit going on. Like, you got Elon Musk over here trying to put computer PC chips in your brain cell, man. Like, it's just too much, man. It's way too much. Like, god damn. I keep fucking...
And get this, they used American citizens as their subjects, without their consent, of course.
Wow. That's unethical on so many levels.
It's really disturbing to think about. These people were just like exploited.
You, look at dude, man. That's about to be like 2080. 2080, man. Elon Musk, I forgot the name of the company. Elon Musk putting all them chips, man. Life is really about to be getting crazy. Like,
and the worst part is they destroyed most of the records. So we may never know the full extent of what happened.
It's a dark chapter in American history.
Yeah, it's a reminder that power can be abused, especially when it's hidden. Okay, let's move on to something a little more fun, maybe? Have you ever heard of the Philadelphia experiment?
Oh yeah, the one where they tried to make a ship invisible?
Exactly. It's been a popular conspiracy theory for decades.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
It does. So the story goes, back in 1943, the U.S. Navy was doing this top secret experiment in Philadelphia. They were trying to make the USS Eldridge invisible to radar.
And what happened?
Well, the legend is that the ship not only vanished from radar, but it completely disappeared. Like teleported to Norfolk, Virginia, and then back again.
No way.
And some stories even say that the crew like merged with the ship or went insane.
That's wild.
I know. But the Navy denies that any of this ever happened. They say it's just a hoax.
They tried to do something and got fused with the ship. If it's true or not, man, because these is conspiracies, man.
People still believe it, don't they?
Oh yeah, the story's still around.
Yeah.
People talk about government cover-ups and all sorts of things.
It's a fascinating story, even if it's not true.
It really captures the imagination. All right, let's switch gears again and talk about something a little more grounded in reality. The Tuskegee syphilis study.
Oh, right. That's a really sad and shameful part of American history.
It is. So for 40 years, from 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service did this study on 600 black men in Macon County, Alabama.
I've heard of it, but I don't know all the details.
Well, these men were told they were getting free health care for bad blood. But in reality, they were being studied for the effects of untreated syphilis.
Oh, wow, that's terrible.
And even after penicillin became available...
Why do they do that, man? Like, I feel like... I mean, bro, I feel like if like, the government or whoever these people be that be grabbing up all these, like, groups of people to do all this testing, like, why don't they just tell, like, keep it 100 and tell people what they getting themselves into? Like, it's crazy. I feel like they don't do that, though, because a lot of people wouldn't be going for it. Like, it'd be a lot of people not going for getting tested for a disease or any of that. Like, man, what? I guess they just gotta lie, man. That's, man, what? I don't know.
Available as a cure in the 1940s, they still didn't treat them.
That's inhumane.
It's a complete violation of their rights.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 1972 that a whistleblower finally exposed the study, and it got shut down.
That's good.
It's a terrible example of scientific misconduct. and the exploitation of vulnerable people.
It really highlights the importance of ethics in research.
For sure. Okay, I think we need to end on a lighter note. So, how about we talk about Area 51?
Area 51, the legendary secret base in Nevada.
Yeah, for years it was just a conspiracy theory. People talked about crashed alien spaceships, government cover-ups, all that stuff.
And the government always denied it existed.
Yeah.
Y'all believe in Area 51, man? Let me know something. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of hard for me to choose if I believe in something or not, because, man, we don't know, man. We really just don't know. Like, it's crazy.
But then, in 2013, the CIA declassified some documents, and they admitted that Area 51 is real.
No way!
Yeah.
What?
Turns out, it was being used for top-secret military testing, like developing the U-2 spy plane during the Cold War.
So it wasn't aliens after all.
Well, the government says it was just for testing aircraft and weapons. But of course, that hasn't stopped the conspiracy theories.
People still think they're hiding something bigger, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, for some people, the confirmation just made them more suspicious.
I can see that.
It's like, even when we get a little bit of truth, it just creates more questions. Okay, before we move on, I want to touch on one more big event. That started small, but turned into a huge political scandal. Watergate.
Watergate. That one really shook things up.
It led to President Nixon's resignation.
Yeah.
It all started in 1972 with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel.
So it was just a burglary at first?
Yeah, seemed like it. But as journalists started digging, they found connections to the White House.
Oh, wow.
It was a huge cover-up involving all sorts of illegal activities, wiretapping, sabotage, hush money, you name it.
It sounds like a movie plot.
It really does. And then there was the Saturday Night Massacre, when Nixon fired the special prosecutor who was investigating Watergate.
I remember that.
It's a big deal. The Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General resigned. It was chaos.
Watergate really changed how people viewed the government.
Yeah, it eroded trust.
Yeah.
And it showed how important a free press is for holding those in power accountable.
And it proved that no one is above the law.
Exactly, even the president. You know, we've gone through some pretty wild stuff so far. Government secrets, mysteries, historical cover-ups. But for this last part, let's talk about something that kind of taps into a primal fear. The idea of being experimented on without your consent.
Yeah, that's a pretty unsettling thought.
Man.
It is. I mean, the thought of someone manipulating you without you knowing, it's scary.
It is, and it's not just a theoretical fear either.
Right.
History is full of examples of this actually happening.
Like the Guatemala syphilis experiments.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was horrific.
It was. So remember the Tuskegee experiments we talked about?
Yeah.
This is even worse. From 1946 to 1948, researchers from the U.S. Public Health Service, they worked with the Guatemalan government, and they deliberately infected over 1,300 Guatemalan citizens with syphilis and other STDs.
That's beyond unethical.
It was. And these weren't volunteers or anything. They were prisoners, soldiers, mental patients.
Oh my God.
Even sex workers. They were intentionally infected without their consent.
What was their justification for this?
They claimed they wanted to study the effectiveness of penicillin.
Penicillin. But that's treatable.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But their methods were just awful. They completely disregarded these people's lives.
It's hard to believe something like that could happen.
It is. It wasn't until 2010 that the U.S. government even apologized for it.
It's a dark reminder of what can happen when power goes unchecked.
Absolutely. Okay, so as we wrap up our exploration of these conspiracy theories turned truths, I think the biggest takeaway is that the world is full of surprises. It's good to be skeptical, but also to be open-minded.
That's what I'm saying,
You know,
man.
what we think is true might not be the whole
That's why
story.
I really can't believe in nothing, because I'm really trying to be more open-minded to like all types of things, like, because I don't know what's real. I'm just here, but this is crazy to hear though.
Story.
Right. There's always more to learn.
I think I'm gonna wrap it up right here, for real. Cool little video, conspiracies, I guess. Let me know if y'all believe any of these, man, like, cause dude and or girl over here talking about, it's real and crap like that, I gotta do some research on it, you know. This was a little interesting video, though. Just something cool, throw on the channel. I'm about to be coming up with some more video ideas, man. But show me some support, man. All that goodness, whatever. Y'all ain't fucking with this video, it's cool, man, because I'm going to come back next time even better. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. We out.